Hi again, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Salamat po for being here and taking in this video. It's going to be about handling criticism or disapproval of your Filipina relationship. Now, this should not be something that deters you from pursuing a Filipina. It should not dissuade you from pursuing a Filipina that's a lot younger than you are. That's typically the case. It should not keep you from pursuing a younger Filipina and bringing her to America or whatever country you live in. It's just that regardless, because of stereotypes and because it's not really common here in the United States to see a couple like me and my wife, there can be criticism. Now, to be honest with you, I have not found that we have had very much, at least not that I am aware of. There have been a couple times, and I will go into that, but you know, when you're, what's there to be critical of? Well, you know, you're a man looking for a woman half your age, and some people criticize that, although I'm not really sure why. I think most men would prefer that if they could. You know, they'll say you're desperate, so why are you going to another country? You can't find somebody in your own country. You don't love her. You know, there's some other reason you have for marrying her, but it's not for love. Maybe it's just for sex. But, you know, you're going to come across this. I would just recommend trying to be calm, trying to be level-headed and cerebral about it and not get into any arguments about it. The first time I ever came across any kind of disapproval or displeasure with my relationship with my wife was significant because I went to a doctor's office, and this was maybe a year ago, and at that time, you know, I'm wanting to show everybody what my wife looks like. So I had my favorite picture of her, and I was waiting in the office for the doctor, and so there was an assistant, and this was a young man, I would guess probably early 20s, and I said, hey, you know, I married a wife in the Filipina, and here's her picture, you know, and I went to show him the picture, and the next thing I know, he just kind of recoiled as if in disgust. I don't even know how good of a look he got. I'm sure he saw her, or maybe he just thought, you know, this is a guy that's his age with a woman that's that age. I mean, he didn't even try to hide it. It was like, you know, it was like, didn't even want to look at it. And, you know, I thought that was really, really interesting. Didn't bother me too much. I was just kind of wondering why he handled it that way. Well, another time something like this happened was recently one of my videos called let's see, Husband or Father Figure. You can't see it now because the young lady deleted all her comments, but one night I think we went back and forth with about 12 or 13 comments where she was taking exception to that. You know, if you wanted a poor woman, which I did, you know, why can't you marry a poor woman from your own country? If you want a younger wife, why can't you find someone in your own country? Anyway, she was trying to, you know, tear down everything. Well, she went beyond the article, I think, but, you know, she probably had some expectations or preconceived ideas of what was in my heart about this relationship, and I tried to respond to her as logically as I could and just focus on the topics and the things we were talking about. And I reiterated, you know, I love my wife, and what I'm telling you is true. These were my motivations to pursue her. And so anyway, she disagreed with me very much with what I did. But the next morning, I noticed she had taken away all her comments. That's why you can't see them now. I kind of wish she hadn't, because then you can see the back and forth that we did talking about this. And so I kind of wonder if, and I encourage her, you know, look at some of my videos. You know, you'll see I really love my wife. And maybe she did. Maybe she looked at one video or somehow she realized, yeah, this guy is probably honest. He's probably telling me the truth. I don't know, but she did take them down, and there was no comment after that. So I kind of think that's probably what it was all about. So one way, and probably the best way for people to deal with the criticism that other people have, even if they don't come out and say it, but they're thinking it, possibly, and that's to be 100% invested and committed into your relationship with your wife, where you're talking to others about her and your feelings for her, and she's not a sex object. You care about her very much, and you're praising her for the good things that she does. So I know there was some word that there were some people in another department at work, because I work in the same company as my wife. Got her a job there through temporary agency. Now she's full-time. And this was right when before I think she even got there, some people had some concerns about what I had done, but nothing to me personally. Most of the feedback has been positive, and I'll give you a couple of those. Surprisingly so, my dentist is a woman, probably my age. I am 56, and she's known me for 5 or 6 years. And of course, I wanted Isa to go to the same dentist that I did. And Isa is really well thought of there by the assistant and by my dentist. I mean, she even said, I think, you make a cute couple. And they're always asking me about Isa, and Isa brought some meal over, some kind of a dish for the assistant, because she was just trying to be friendly. And, they treat us like any other couple. I mean, a cute couple. I mean, I think that's just the way we act when we're together. And that's not the first time that happened. I take her to my financial advisor, and we've been there 4 or 5 times. And my financial advisor knew about my wife before, because there was the immigration wait, and I showed her videos and pictures, and she could tell how excited I was. And then when I get my wife here and we go meet with them, I think she can see that everything seems legitimate and honest and real, that I really do care about my wife, because the way we interact, she regards us just as anyone else. And I think she said also, you guys make a cute couple, and here we are. She's half my age, and we don't know each other very long. We got married so quickly, but cute couple. Now, last week or two before Thanksgiving, we went to the mall, and we were stopped by my financial advisors in her 30s, early 30s, but we were stopped by a woman probably in her 20s. She was selling some kind of a device to straighten your hair. It dries it, it straightens it, all that. Anyway, there's a bunch of products that go with that, but my mom, excuse me, my wife has long hair, so she thought maybe she'd be a good person to try to sell this to. So, we went back and forth for 10 or 15 minutes trying to talk about whether I wanted to get that for her as a gift, and we had to talk about, well, hon, if you buy this, you can't cut your hair because it's for long hair, and then she's, well, maybe I'll keep it, But we went back and forth, just, like we always do. And she said, you guys are the cutest couple that I've sold, this to. I mean, she was just, I don't get any impression at all that when people actually see us together, that they have bad thoughts about us. The one guy in the doctor's office, my wife wasn't there. Yeah, maybe if she was, he'd have been amazed. He would have seen that, we don't fit the stereotype that he has in his mind. And there's a lady at work also that comes over and talks to us. And, she just thinks we're a good couple, and I think that's the way most people feel at church. Nobody treats us any different than anybody else. And I think that's because of the vibe they get when we are together. If they're thinking something negative about our relationship or or my motives or intentions of marrying her, it sure doesn't come out. And I think that's because Isa looks happy. She looks cheerful, and that's probably her disposition to a big degree, but being married to me hasn't altered that at all. And, we might look happier than most couples. I don't know. But the negativity has not been very much. But when I have faced it and had a chance, I have just tried to say, well, I'll tell you what, I did want a younger woman, absolutely. I'd been alone for a very long time, and I frankly wanted a younger woman. And that's what I pursued. And there's nothing wrong with that. And she's from the Philippines. Well, you go to the Philippines and you take advantage of these girls. Well, that's not what I did. I went out there to find somebody I thought would make me a good wife. And that's what I did. So I got what I wanted. I got what I pursued. And now the way I talk about her, do they talk about their wives the way I do? They know I'm crazy about my wife. And I have been before. When I was home after I married her through that whole immigration period, and now she's been here a year and a half, everybody knows I'm crazy about her. I've got her pictures in my locker when I open the door, and I have her screenshot on all the different computers that I use. And, they know who she is. They know I'm nuts about her. And not much criticism when people see us together. So that's what I would suggest. Go ahead and pursue a Filipina. Bring her here. And when you're with her, just act like you're a normal couple. She's not maybe half your age. She's not from the Philippines. She's just your wife. She's your partner. Now, one time I looked at the internet and I saw a YouTube video of an older man, as in he was probably in his mid-40s. The girl, Filipina, probably 18 to 20. And it was from a dating site. And I watched their interaction, and it was kind of creepy because they did not give off a good vibe. I'm not sure they even sat that close together, and she just looked so uncomfortable, and not because she might have been shy. She just looked like, to me, and maybe I'm being judgmental, but it looked like the words she was saying, the body language and everything wasn't consistent with that. It was very, very strange. I got the impression he was really excited about marrying her, but her response was odd. And I think that's kind of the opposite of the way people see us when we're together, is they apparently end up thinking, yeah, they're just a normal couple. Maybe they see past the age difference. Maybe they don't know what the age difference is. But one thing for sure is they know I love my wife very, very much. So the criticism, the disapproval, I guess you're going to deal with it. Kind of have to, let it go off of you like water off a duck's back. Don't be defensive. Don't be a smart aleck. Just say, well, I love my wife, and we do things together. I want what's best for her. We go on vacations like anybody else. We go to movies. Whatever. We're just a normal couple. And in time, if people have some kind of reservations about your relationship with Filipina, in time, just know that if you're consistent in your love for her, it's going to show in her face and your reactions with each other. People are going to tell in time, well, I can't really badmouth that couple because they seem happy. He seems happy. She seems happy. At the end of the day, we get into relationships to be happy, to have mutual benefits. And so my wife and I do this video, this whole channel is about helping people to have a good relationship with their Filipina. I'm no expert. Now, honestly, I did study marriage for many years because I assumed that I would have been married a long time ago. So I have had a lot of ideas on how to go about things. Now I get to put them into practice. I didn't know it would be with a younger Filipina, but that's what God gave me. And I'm confident that we're going to be around the rest of my days because I'm going to do everything possible to keep this relationship together, because it's the most important thing to me. And if it's the most important thing to you, I don't think you'll have much trouble finding a younger Filipina and having a good relationship, but just be braced for criticism because of the relationship you have with your love beyond the sea.